What's up, nerds? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We're finally back in the studio. The studio space is somewhat set up. I'm not really showing you the whole thing. And, well, if I turn you this way, you can see my editing setup. And if I turn you this way, you can see all my gear. And back to me. So Apple just released a brand new iPhone, the iPhone 13. We were expecting this. They come out with a new one every year. I don't know why they feel like they need to. Apparently, to stay relevant, they need to release a new phone every single year. So talking about these, I'm talking about them from a beginner filmmaker, beginner videographer perspective, obviously. Every year I always think, I'm like, okay, how is Apple gonna do something different this year? To be honest, like 4K 60 has been in the iPhone since 2017. So 4K 60 is nothing new. Really, they're just making the sensor a little bit bigger, the glass a little bit better, and well, that's really the only thing that's been changing much. Like if you put an iPhone 8 side by side with an iPhone 12, like there's some big differences. But this year, I think there actually were some notable differences for people that like to film and take photos with their iPhone. I've been killing it with my nice iPhone 8 Plus since 2017. And the reason I got it is because of the 4K 60. And I've really felt no big reason to upgrade to a new phone until now because of one reason that I'm gonna get into. Just to be completely transparent out there, these are my own thoughts, my own preferences from my experience, and you can take them for a grain of salt, so you can like them or don't like them. But if you do like them, maybe smash like, subscribe, whatever the YouTubers say these days. Obviously, it's still expensive. They're like, okay, bigger screen, bigger front-facing camera. Oh, it's an XDR display. Haha. Awesome. So we still have 3 cameras. And the first thing I noticed on here was the macro setting, which is actually pretty cool. When I worked at a camera store, the biggest question I always got was like, oh, what's the best macro lens? I really don't have much experience with macro stuff other than the 24mm. I think it's like the Vent Optics lens. Here, I'll put a picture of it right here. But the only experience I really have with like macro lenses is with that lens. And that one is meant for like cinema and product stuff. And it is a fantastic lens. This is really cool that they've integrated this into the iPhone. And not only have they done it for photo, but they've done it for video. So now we can get the same effects that we were getting with that 24mm macro and not have to have a pistol length, like shotgun length lens on a phone. So that'll be really cool to kind of see how that all pans out. And I think it's cool now iPhone is actually implementing the same things, the same upgrades that they were putting in with photo. They're now applying to video, which is definitely like new and different, which that actually happened with this phone in one sense, which I'm gonna get to, so just be patient. Again, we have better low light, 2.2 times more light, or 92% more light, whichever makes you feel better. Night mode is on every camera, which is really cool. You get bigger zoom, 77mm focal length, and 3 times optical zoom. This is the biggest thing that I've been excited for. The biggest factor that makes me want to, trade in this 8 Plus to get the 12 Pro. Sorry, the 13 Pro. That is shift the focus. Like this just takes portrait mode basically and applies it to video. But they even took it a step further to let you decide what was in focus after the video was taken. Right here they're demonstrating like a rack focus basically. And this they show you is like, okay, well this was done in post using literally just the photo app. You can go and set keyframes to say, okay, this is when I want it to change from being in focus from this person to this person. Basically a post-production first AC. That is awesome. If we could implement this into cinema cameras, that would be a game changer. But obviously it's gonna come on smartphone first. On top of that, you also have ProRes resolution, which, let me know in the comments if they've had that before, like if the iPhone 12 Pro has that. I know that they had the HDR, so they had Dolby Vision. I don't know if that's had it before. So if they have had it before, let me know in the comments down below. But I feel like that's a new thing. On top of that, they've also implemented video editing into the app using ProRes. I'm interested though. It doesn't look like they offer like log footage. and you don't super need log footage. The reason log exists is to extend the dynamic range of an image. With iPhone, I don't think it would be completely necessary, because I feel like in order to get log footage, so like with Moment or Filmic Pro, they offer log footage, but I feel like it's just a filter on top of your image. And so I'm like, unless you're actually changing the technology that's inside how the sensor is processing the image, like log is going to be kind of worthless to you. So whatever they're doing, just like shooting in the normal app, is probably better. But if I do end up getting this phone and testing the image quality and stuff like that, I can definitely dive into those tests. So basically the same lenses. There's nothing super new about it, but the 1.5 is awesome. We're getting closer and closer to 1.4, but it's just so hard because like these lenses are extremely tiny, and on top of that the sensor is even smaller, and so 1.4 on a teeny tiny lens like that doesn't really make too much of a difference, because even this focus shift that they're implementing into here is a technology that is creating artificial blur, like artificial bokeh. It can look fake at sometimes, like with portrait mode, like if you don't use it right, if you're not in the right settings, it can look extremely fake because it's artificial, it's different. The two things that I find the most exciting about this new update is the focus shift ability, especially the ability to do it post-production, and then the macro. Those are the two biggest things that I really take away from this smartphone. It really doesn't justify a $1,200 purchase or a $1,500 purchase, however many gigs you get. I don't know, because really with that money, you could buy a Blackmagic. It just depends, like, how much are you actually going to use your phone? It's so hard to justify the purchase being just for camera. Obviously, that's not all you're using it for. You're posting on Facebook, Instagram, whatever you use, Twitter. You're tweeting on there, texting people, calling people, watching YouTube videos like this. For $1,200, you add that on top of it, then you can say, okay, yeah, that's probably worth it. So if you're due for a new phone upgrade, I'd be like, yeah, sure. Like me, 4 years, probably due for a new phone upgrade. But if you're like, I'm looking for a new camera, and I have the iPhone 12 Pro already, but I'm looking for like a camera that can do cinema stuff, like I don't think that the iPhone 13 is justifiable in that sense. Again, this is just a first look, and you can do whatever you want. Like I really don't care. I'm here to just show my opinion, show my reaction, and you can take it for a grain of salt or for a monkey's uncle, whatever you want. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you so much for coming to the channel. We just passed 200 subscribers. That is awesome. I'm almost about to celebrate my 1-year anniversary on YouTube, and 200 subs in that time is just, that's so cool to me. I'm super excited about that. I never intended this channel to be like something that is big and has an audience. It really was just an opportunity for me to make videos and keep myself busy. And over time, I've gotten busy in other ways doing film school, and then we've got a podcast now, the Beginner Filmmaker podcast. So if you want a podcast, you can hop over there and follow. But like we're busy making other content, and so I've been lacking on the YouTube videos, and I'm so sorry. I hope I can start keeping them up a little bit more. As far as the last video that just came out, so with the Mikey full frame lenses, that is in the works. I promised that I'd be making a full in-depth review, like with a full frame camera, because that was one mistake I had with those lenses, was I shot it on my Blackmagic, so I wasn't really able to show the full potential of those lenses. But then Mikey decided to announce the 24mm full frame. So that video is going to be pushed back a little bit further so that we can get a hold of the 24mm and test that along with it. If you're anticipating that video, just be assured it is coming, I promise. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell button so you never miss out on new young filmmaker content. Good luck filmmaking.